Hi there, folks. Welcome back and to my Jedi Knight series on the Jedi Knight storyline. Anyway, I'm on Tracking Down the Traitor, and if you were with me on the last video, we just picked up Coruscant as a companion, and during the break, I changed some gear out on her just to make her look a little different, so don't be surprised about that. I also got her affection up quite a bit, so if I look here on my influence screen, you can see I have her at 20. That gives her 1,000 presence when summoned, 30% time efficiency for crew skills, and 10% crit rate for crew skill tasks. So she's pretty handy to have around. I'm going to have her majoritively out as my companion, and so the reason that, gave her all that influence boost is really just to make her more effective for me while I'm in combat. I won't be using her a lot for crafting because I have a lot of other crafters and such. Really, I just want her for her damage capabilities. Also, just so you know, one of the things that's really helpful in getting there is to go ahead and go into character perks, and if you have the money from other characters, go ahead and buy the 3 Legacy of Altruism buffs and the 3 Legacy of Persuasion buffs. If you do that early on in the game, especially when you get a character, then companion gifts that you've stocked up on other characters really have a big impact and really boost them up really fast and get a lot of bang for the buck. Also, if you do that early enough the influence that they're gaining throughout the quest lines and the storylines in the game will just mean that, they're going to get up to an extreme level of influence by the time you actually finish up the main storyline. So, it behooves you to work on it sooner rather than later. Kier Carson. I love this chick. Alright, so here we are. We're in Justicar territory. You saw me go ahead and click on this area for when I got on the speeder. I'm going to just outrun these guys. Most of the bad guys in here you can outrun, if you choose to. If you want to stay and fight them, obviously that's your choice. At level 14, I'll be able to switch out Kira's gear to what I want her to be wearing. So don't be shocked about that either. Anyway, also, over here to my left in Justicar territory, that's one of the heroics here. Very easy one. Alright, we're just going to keep zipping past stuff. Also, over here, up there, if you look up there on that ledge, that's one of the datacrons for Coruscant. It's just one of the easiest ones to spot from, this ground level. Anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. If you want it, there's a good video on how to do that, on YouTube. It's basically kind of a jumping puzzle here. I already got it, now that, datacrons are legacy bound, so don't really need it, and I'm not going to really spend any time on it. Note here in Justicar territory, the placement of these bad guys is a lot better. They're a lot closer to each other, but you'll also notice too that a path between them and around them is a lot harder to get without getting spotted. See, I just got caught there. And these guys all typically use slow as well, so I do recommend being on a mount if you're trying to skip past anybody, and just don't stop. Don't stop for anything, just keep pushing forward, and you'll be just fine. Also here you can see the same placement I was talking about before, where you'll have 2 guys who are really close, 2 guys who are kind of outliers. Just be aware of that. If you are looking to skip past groups, that makes it a little tougher. Also, if you are trying to attack groups, you aren't going to necessarily have them all within the same range of your smash. So, just kind of keep that in mind as you play. If you're somebody like a gunslinger who has a really, really, really wide AoE like sweeping gunfire, it doesn't even matter, man. You could start that up and you can just be blasting all those guys almost no matter how far they are apart. Their AoE is extraordinarily powerful and, has a really, really, really wide range. It's kind of one of the advantages of the range class is that, yes, a sniper has to, be in cover, but they do get some killer offense to make up for it. One of the cool things about a Vigilance Guardian, though, is that I do get some very solid AoE in my rotation that comes up pretty quick later on, and even though it is in melee, it also works as my dot spread. So I've seen some Vigilance Guardians get pretty darn good at laying out some pretty good heaps of damage. Also, one of the other reasons I chose crit for my character's augments, we talked about that a couple videos back, is just because when you're a dot spreader, a lot of times your dots tick a little harder when you have more crit on you and a little bit more often. So, good things to get. I'm going to check this person out, see if they have buffs. They do. That's, again, that little courtesy thing I was talking about before. Alright, so still in Justicar territory. Alright, so up this ramp, normally there is a gold star bad guy here that you will have to fight. It looks like somebody already came through here and fought them already, so I don't have to. Yay us. But just be aware that aside from those scrubs, there is at least one semi-tough bad guy. If you're still kind of working on your gear and figuring things out, just be aware that there is that guy there, and you may want to switch a companion to, you know, healing stance or some such. As a note, I don't typically put companions in tanking stance, almost ever. Most of the time, I'm just going to say this and I'll walk inside the gate. Most of the time, I'll either have them in healing or DPS. If I have them in tank stance, they, you know, depending on how powerful you are and how good you're getting as a player, they really won't hold a lot of aggro off of you. The one good thing I can say about a tanking companion is that if you have like a primarily single target sneaky DPS and you're fighting somebody who's like usually like a single target as well, and you have some good threat dropping ability, so I'm talking mainly about smugglers who are in scrapper spec or operatives who are in that same, you know, single target slicey dicey spec, then the one good thing about a companion who's in tank stance is that they will keep them facing them, and you can just do your high powered attack, back attack moves, you know, while your companion is basically having them face them. And that way you're not constantly trying to like run around to their backside or stun them and run around to their backside. Even that can be a little tricky. You might only get like one or two in there before something's dead, and your companion loses aggro. So on the average, I find that the most helpful thing to have, especially if a character like a Jedi Knight in Vigilance spec who doesn't need to attack from behind, then, you know, hey man, DPS or just heals, one of the two. Okay, after that quick cutscene, this console over here lights up, and we will go ahead and click on that. Okay, and clicking on that console completes the quest. So, Tracking Down the Traitor is done, and now we will go to Race to the Ruins. Now, there's kind of a misnomer here. The Justicar area comes in two parts. The detention center, and then if you go down into an elevator, you're going to go to the lower levels, and that's what Race of the Ruins is going to take us to. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this video here. It's a good stopping point just before I hit level 14, and when you see the next video, we'll be doing Race of the Ruins. I'll go ahead and start it from this location so you can see how to get there the fastest way. Alright guys, if you're enjoying these videos, please like my channel. Also, feel free to just jump into the game, guys. I have a new friend referral link in all my videos. In the comments area. Just go ahead and click on that, guys. Seriously, get yourself a few free days of game time. Have some fun with this game. It's so much fun to swing a lightsaber around. And you don't have to choose a Jedi Knight. That's just the class I'm using here. It was the first one I wanted to do the story for because I feel like it's the most canon. But man, like, you know, the gunslingers are awesome. The snipers are awesome. If you play the Imperial Agent storyline, that's like one of the best in the game. Get in there, have some fun, feel what it's like, and yeah. Like my videos, subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side.